to be our today's speaker. Connie Paus is a long-time member of White House. She continues to work the program and has embraced pathways. She has completed one path and is working in 3 more. Her speech today is from level 2 of the Engaging Humor path. Know your sense of humor. The purpose of this project is to begin developing a collection of humorous stories and to present a speech that includes humor through anecdotes and stories. Timer, please provide cards for green at 5 minutes, yellow at 6 minutes, and red at 7 minutes. Fellow Toastmasters, please welcome distinguished Toastmaster Connie Paus with her speech, Road Rules, Expire Tales from Craven.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. Have you ever heard the phrase, what goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas? Or more commonly, road rules apply. Since I've just returned from what might be my very last time at Craven Music Festival, I thought road rules should expire, and I would share some stories with all of you. One of the things that has attracted me to Craven over the years is the opportunity to get close to all of the performers. In order to do that, our group over the years participated in what was known as the Gopher Run. 4 a.m., we'd get up, load our backs with our lawn chairs, and trudge down to Main Street. Sit in the Gopher Run, sometimes for hours. We'd sleep a bit, we'd visit, make friends, laugh, talk, watch the artists roll in. Their caravans would come in, listen to the sound checks. It was so much fun. Some of my happiest memories of Craven are actually from the Gopher Run. I remember one summer we made friends with a young man from Saskatoon. I believe he was a nurse. And for 3 mornings in the Gopher Run, he sat as part of our group, and we listened to him read out loud from a very smutty book. Now, I have no idea what he was reading or what the title was, but we howled with laughter at this 20-something young man reading smut to all of us mom-aged women. It was priceless. Rain or shine, we were in the Gopher Run, and some years, if we really wanted to hear the next night's performer, we actually slept outside all night in the Gopher Run or on Main Street. Sleep, a bit of a misnomer, but we tried. The end result of the Gopher Run was that we had the chance to set down our chairs as close to the stage as possible, or more importantly, close to the catwalk. Ah, the catwalk, a long extension that comes out from the middle of the stage. A lot of the artists used it, and we'd stand there with our hands in the air and cheering, maybe trying to get an autograph, or, oh my gosh, Keith Urban touched my hand. Can you say groupies? That's what we were. Territory on the catwalk was very, very prized, and it was hard to get. Our group would go back and forth in the early hours from our chairs to the catwalk, but as the day progressed, we were there to stay. In fact, other people would come forward and try to get our space, which makes me amused when I hear the phrase elbows up, because we used elbows up for years on the catwalk. Elbows up, everyone. No one is getting past us. I have some fond memories as well of the artists on the catwalk. I remember one early afternoon performance, a young artist or a newer artist came bounding up from the back of the audience and up the catwalk and onto the stage. It was Johnny Reed, and from that moment we knew that he was going to be a stellar performer. Alan Jackson never used the catwalk. He stood and he sang his music. He was wonderful. But one evening when he was performing, he said, gee, there's this space in front of me and nobody's there. It seems like such a shame. The crowd needed no further invitation. They jumped the fences and within minutes, the catwalk was full. I felt so sorry for security that evening. The late Toby Keith was a big burly guy, and he used the catwalk quite a bit. There were lots of arms up to get close to Toby Keith. In fact, I think he thought that one lady was trying to get a little bit too close because he raised his leg and used his boot, not to kick her, but just to hold her at bay because close is as close does. Have you ever heard about that at Craven, everyone drinks too much? The parties are way too loud. They go on too long, and well, I'm not going to say that that's wrong because it's all part of the Craven lore. Back in the early days, we used to actually smuggle alcohol into the grandstand area, but shush, don't tell anybody that we did that. If you were of a certain age, they didn't always check your bags that closely. So an empty water bottle could be filled with something better. If you had a colored pop bottle, oh, even more options could go in there. We could be set for the afternoon and the evening. One year, my daughter came to Craven, and so did her cousin. The girls were legal by then, but because I was of that age, I became the smuggler of choice for them. It worked like a charm. I was the best mom and the favorite auntie that summer. Alcohol consumption at Craven can come in many forms, and one of our group's favorite versions was a Jell-O shooter. Some years we had coolers full of them. There were a lot of us. Well, one year, I still do not know how this happened. I somehow ended up in a competition with my younger nephew as to who could drink their age in Jell-O shots the fastest. Now, this was more than 10 years ago. I was probably in my early 50s. Mark was probably in his early 20s. We sat at the campground at our site, lined up our Jell-O shooters, and we got to it. I actually had to stop and wait for the boy to catch up to me because, I mean, fair is fair. But in the end, I emerged victorious, champion of the Jell-O shots. I will confess, though, that my sister had to help me as we weebled and wobbled our way down to the music that afternoon. Fellow Toastmasters, my 20 years at Craven have been amazing. I wouldn't trade them for anything. I heard countless wonderful artists perform. I made wonderful memories with my friends, old and new. But life goes on, things change. And the plan for next year is a brand new country music adventure as my sister and I are heading to Camrose, Alberta for Big Valley. The hotel room already booked. And you know something? Somehow I think road rules will once again apply.